business or their job is an essential business versus those who think that they should be continued to operate. What I don't want to do is leave here today with there being some ambiguity. This proclamation that has been signed by the mayors of all the towns, myself and the city manager, basically says restricting movement. And so people are going to question that. We've used a lot of different terminology. Shelter in place, stay at home. So let's be clear to people because everybody interprets that differently. This basically says restricting movement of all individuals living within Mecklenburg County. And it says specifically what those restrictions are. Is that the same as shelter in place?
It's a very good question. So shelter in place for our county, for Mecklenburg County, is also part of other plans that deal with McGuire and Catawba nuclear power stations. The shelter in place orders, which are part of those two plans, are specifically during a nuclear incident to have people stay inside of any building that they are currently in and seek shelter immediately. That is why we have chosen to do a stay-at-home order versus a shelter-in-place order, because we don't want there to be any misinterpretation between the two. So for us, Mecklenburg County, the shelter-in-place order is typically a matter of a few hours until we can handle that emergency.
Okay.
And in addition, Commissioner, if I may add, legally, under the statute, North Carolina really allows for restrictions and prohibitions. You can combine the two, which can equate to shelter in place, but shelter in place is not defined in North Carolina law. That's why it's used as restriction of movement and being prohibited from going various places.
So, and I wanted that to be clear because people are have different interpretations of that word, but I think it's important that we be able to explain that. So there are restrictions, and then it specifies what restrictions will be in place.